Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take 1.
Action!
It is here, the show of shows. I wanted to do Tron Legacy this year for Thanks Flicking. Guys, welcome back. Peter A. DeLuca here, your film buff, coming to you from, well, the great city of Philadelphia. No city is like Philadelphia. God, holy hell, do I love living here. I really do. So, every year, we have Thanks Flicking. So, we wrap up every year with 3 major events. The 31 Days of Dread, one horror movie a day for the entire month of October. Thanks Flicking. No release format. I usually just rush out as many of those as possible. This year, we're going to do one a week. First true format for Thanks Flicking. And then we have cinemas. Christmas movies around December. Again, scattered throughout the month. Then I rush out and I try and do like a New Year's movie. Or a movie that takes place around New Year's. And then I'm rushing to do like Valentine's Day. It's madness. And then rushing to do Easter. The end of the year and the beginning of the year becomes absolutely chaotic for any type of programming. So I wanted to do Tron Legacy because it's a deeply meaningful movie to me. I wanted to do it for Thanks Flicking because I'm just so grateful that this movie exists, that this movie is out there. But we're doing it leading into Tron Ares, A-R-E-S, the Jared Leto Tron movie where everything is red. Now, I have some problems with what I've seen from Tron Ares. We don't see Saint Flynn. We don't see Cora. 2 of the focus characters, the true heart, the beating heart. These 2 characters took over the Tron franchise. They are beloved, and people want to see more of them. Their story, the way that this movie wraps up, right before those credits hit, we want to know more. We never got it. Disney did Tron Uprising post-release, and Tron Uprising gives us a little bit more detail of what's happening inside the grid, right? I love the Tron lore. Inside the grid, around this time of revolution. But we don't see much, we don't see Sam Flynn. We don't see Cora in this series. And that's it. There's few characters. I want to say there's no other characters but these 2 characters that people want to see. I like Jared Leto. I really do. I think he's fantastic. I like his projects. I like how he sculpts his projects, right? I mean, you get some clout in Hollywood. You become a name. You become a multimedia star. And you also get a little mystique around you. Jared Leto is a unique animal. And I say that in a very loving way. The people online, right, they like to go after Jared Leto. I don't know why. I like Morbius. I really do. I liked him in Prefontaine. Movies that he's seen less in. Fight Club, Alexander, but always standing out. The camera loves him. He's a beautiful dude. Rock and roll, right? That's what Hollywood's all about. So my connection with Tron Legacy is it's multi-factored, it's multi-layered. We can talk about the movie, right? Like the movie's important. We can talk about why the movie's important to me. Tron Legacy made me want to get deeper into IT. I just love the idea of knowing how computers work. I just wanted to learn more. I was able to use that into my professional life. I listen to the Tron Legacy soundtrack a couple times a week. I'm sure I got some solid Spotify numbers for that. I think the set design, the costume design, I think the upgrade if you will, of Tron. What they did from that first movie with Tron Legacy is a template. It's amazing. They created what the nostalgia reboot is all about. They built a template for the Batman movies. They built a template for what happened with Star Wars Force Awakens, so on and so forth. Tron Legacy is one of the greatest, maybe the greatest real-time sequel we've ever got. What's real-time sequel failures we've had recently? Beetlejuice, Bill and Ted's. There's a pretty good list of failed real-time sequels as there is successful ones. Tron is Tron Legacy, the absolute template. The look of this movie and the way the visuals merge perfectly with Das Punk's score, which was not Oscar nominated. It should have won the Oscar. It's incredible. The set design, the imagination put into Tron Legacy, it's inspiring. It seems like at this stage in my life, I can never get enough of Tron Legacy. I compare this to the Platinum Dunes Friday the 13th. That failed reboot that people loved to bash. Because I thought that was a hell of a real-time reboot or real-time sequel too. I think that there was a lot of good stuff. I mean, I like that Nightmare on Elm Street Platinum Dunes as well. I like the Turtles, the Michael Bay Turtles, as they like to call. I like a lot of these updates that put the character somewhat in the real world, and they strip away some of the corniness, and they kind of get this weird amalgam of the character being grounded and realistic, but changed and slightly different enough to be new to like a new segment of the audience. And I feel like a lot of these movies are successful. They just never get the credit. And Tron is in this, like, this weird vein of movies that no one wanted to see more of. There was a small audience for Tron. There was a lot of the geeks, just the dorks wanted Tron. Tron comes out on DVD, like 20th anniversary, does, double disc, does okay. Great documentary on that release. But Tron never was like this merchandise focal point. Leading into Tron Legacy, there was a Tron video game. That game comes and goes. NECA does a toy line. There's 3 or 4 issues of a comic book that supports it. When Tron Legacy comes out, Marvel Comics and Disney, right? The biggest comic book publisher on planet Earth. There's no big Tron rollout. And Tron becomes this like nebulous force of what like the film going experience is supposed to be like. But it's not attached to evergreen merchandise and t-shirts and action figures. It sells some when it's new, but then the world moves on. At one time, you kind of had this trifecta. You had Conan the Barbarian, you had Tron, and you had the Dark Crystal, and these were like your high fantasy films that you knew would never get a proper follow-up. And even Conan, right? The Destroyer, Red Sonja, the world moved on. It changed. Those sequels changed from the original too much. And from a film-going experience, right? Like, they became special. So Tron Legacy comes along. And, I'm madly in love at the time. I have a growing New Jersey friend group, and we saw Tron Legacy about 3 times, drank a ton of alcohol in the theater every single time. There was a moment where I only had, Tron Legacy was only a few films I had to watch on a portable DVD player out of an apartment in Jersey, because, I was living that low. It was like Tron Legacy, The Aviator, and The Warriors, and this Andy Warhol documentary. and that was repeat. Like, and I think I might also had Blood Diamond thrown in there, but that was it. And any person I had over, any girl I had over, like I would have to, hey, we got 1 to 5 movies to watch. That's it. And then, like we get back into film, we get back into watching movies, we start this podcast, and all of this time, I never brought you guys Tron Legacy. I never spoke about how deeply meaningful and transformative this movie is. I watch this movie as often as I listen to it. This movie is a part of my regular vernacular. I believe this movie is just inspiring. And I think it's the perfect real-time sequel. It's the perfect reboot. It ends perfectly. There are so many just interesting questions by the end of this movie. So again, like, we're not getting into the plot all the time with all of these movies. Sometimes it's just me telling you about them, a little bit of that personal life experience, and that's what today's episode is all about. But if you ever catch Tron Legacy on TV, watch it. If you see it cheap in a DVD pile, buy it. If you feel like subscribing to Disney Plus, it's there. Watch it. I think it's one of the most imaginative movies of our time. A perfect film, a perfect science fiction film. I love you guys. Rock and roll.
Okay, that's a wrap.